You remember the exact moment you decided things had to change. It was not a dramatic moment. Nobody was watching. There was no music. You were sitting at your kitchen table, probably late at night, and you opened your banking app the way you always did, with that slight sick feeling in your stomach, bracing yourself for the number. And the number told you what it always told you. There was almost nothing there, a few dollars, maybe a little more. Enough to get you to the next paycheck if nothing went wrong, but something always went wrong. That month, it was your car. A tire. $167 you did not have. The month before it was a doctor visit. Before that, it was a broken phone screen. Each time you put it on a credit card, or you borrowed from a friend, or you just didn't eat out for 2 weeks and somehow scraped through. And each time you told yourself you'd get ahead next month. Next month, you'd start saving. Next month, things would be different. But next month kept arriving and nothing ever changed because the truth was you didn't have a plan. You had intentions. And intentions, no matter how sincere they are, don't protect you when life decides to show up uninvited. Here's what nobody really tells you about money when you're young. The goal isn't to be rich right away. The goal isn't to pick the perfect investment or find the secret that wealthy people are hiding from you. The real first goal, the one that changes everything, is simpler and harder than any of that. The real first goal is to save your first $1,000 and keep it. Not spend it, not move it around. Keep it, because that first $1,000 is not really about the money. It's about the person you become when you have it. Let's go back to that kitchen table. Let's go back to the moment you decided things had to change, and this time let's walk through what actually happens when you make that decision and follow through. You are earning a real paycheck. Maybe it's from a job you're like. Maybe it's from a job you're tolerating while you figure out something better. Maybe you're working 2 jobs or freelancing on the side or picking up extra shifts on the weekend. The amount doesn't matter right now because this story isn't about earning more. It's about doing something different with what you already have. You take a piece of paper or you open a notes app on your phone and you write down every single thing you spend money on in a month. Not what you think you spend, what you actually spend. You go back through your bank statements and your card statements for the last 30 days and you write it all down. Rent, utilities, groceries, subscriptions, coffee, fast food, drinks with friends, impulse purchases, that thing you ordered online at midnight and forgot about until it arrived. When you add it up, you feel two things at once. The first is embarrassment, not shame, just honest embarrassment at how many small, forgettable purchases ate through your money without giving you anything real in return. The second feeling is something unexpected. It's relief. Because when you can see where the money is going, you can finally do something about it. You start looking for the leaks. Not the big ones, not yet, just the leaks. The streaming service you haven't used in 4 months. The gym membership you kept meaning to cancel. The subscription box that seemed like a good idea in January. You cancel them, it's not painful. It takes about 20 minutes and a few phone calls, and just like that, you have found somewhere between $30 and $80 a month that was quietly disappearing. You're not done yet. You look at the things you genuinely need, and you ask yourself whether you're paying more than you have to. Groceries are a good place to start. You're not going to stop eating, but you can be more intentional. You can make a list before you go to the store instead of walking the aisles and picking up whatever looks appealing. You can cook at home 4 or 5 nights a week instead of ordering delivery 3 or 4 times. You can make your coffee at home most mornings instead of stopping at the drive-thru. These are not sacrifices that change your quality of life. They are just choices, small, unsexy, quiet choices that add up. You do the math. Canceling subscriptions saves you about $50 a month. Cutting back on takeout saves you around $60. Making coffee at home saves you another $25 or $30. That's somewhere between $130 and $140 a month. You have just reclaimed, not earned, reclaimed. It was your money all along. You were just letting it drift away. Now you make a decision that feels strange at first. You open a separate savings account. Not your regular account, a different one. Ideally, one that isn't with the same bank where you do your everyday spending, so you can't just transfer money back on a whim. You name it, something that means something to you. Security fund, peace of mind foundation. Whatever makes it feel real and important because it is real and it is important, and then you set up an automatic transfer. This is the part people skip. They think they'll just move the money over manually at the end of the month after they've taken care of everything else. But there's a problem with that approach. At the end of the month, there is always something else. There is always a reason the timing isn't quite right. There is always a justification for why next month would be better. The automatic transfer removes the decision entirely. You set it up once. You tell your bank to move $100 from your checking account to your savings account every single time you get paid. And then you stop thinking of that money as available, it's gone the moment it lands. It exists in a different category now. It belongs to future you. $100 a payday, 2 paydays a month. That's $200 a month moving into savings without you having to think about it or feel it. In 5 months, you have $1,000. 5 months, that's all. For most people, that's less time than they spent thinking about saving without actually doing it. But here's where the story gets interesting, because the first time you check that account and see a 4-digit number staring back at you, something happens inside you that is very difficult to describe, but very easy to feel. You feel safe. Not wealthy, not successful. Not like you've figured it all out. Just safe for maybe the first time in your adult life. You have a cushion between yourself and the chaos that life is always capable of generating. You have a number in your account that you put there on purpose, and it is staying there on purpose, and it is working for you every single day just by existing. This is what people in personal finance call an emergency fund. It sounds dry and practical, and it is practical, but it is also one of the most powerful psychological tools available to an ordinary person trying to build a stable financial life. The purpose of an emergency fund is not to make you rich. The purpose is to make sure that when something goes wrong, and something will go wrong, you can handle it without going backward. Think about that tire, $167. Before that was a crisis. It was a credit card charge that took 3 months to pay off and cost you an extra $30 in interest. It was a stressful week and a tense conversation and a quiet feeling of helplessness. Now, you transfer $167 from your emergency fund to your checking account and you pay for the tire. You feel a momentary sting because you worked hard for that money and you didn't want to spend it this way, but that sting is followed almost immediately by something else. Calm, because you handled it. You didn't panic. You didn't borrow. You didn't go into debt over a tire. You just handled it the way financially stable people handle things, not because they have more money than you, but because they built their safety net before they needed it. After you pay for the tire, you do one more important thing. You rebuild. You don't tell yourself that the emergency fund did its job and close the chapter. You go back to your automatic transfer. You keep it running. You rebuild back to $1,000. And then once you're back there, you keep going because $1,000 is the foundation, not the ceiling. Financial experts generally recommend building your emergency fund to cover 3 to 6 months of your essential living expenses. If your rent, utilities, groceries, and basic bills add up to $2,000 a month, that means you're eventually aiming for somewhere between $6,000 and $12,000 sitting in that account. That goal can feel enormous from where you're standing right now, but it always starts the same way. $100 at a time, one automatic transfer at a time, 1 month at a time. You don't need to see the whole staircase, you just need to take the next step. Here's something else that happens when you save your first $1,000, and this one surprised me when I first understood it. Your relationship with money changes at a fundamental level, not because of what $1,000 can buy, because honestly, in the modern world, $1,000 doesn't buy all that much. Your relationship with money changes because you proved something to yourself. You proved that you can make a decision about money and follow through on it. You proved that you can delay something you want right now in exchange for something better later. You prove that the gap between your intentions and your actions can be closed because you closed it. You did the thing you said you were going to do, and the result is sitting in an account with your name on it. That proof changes how you make every financial decision going forward. When someone at work mentions that their company offers a retirement contribution match, and they haven't enrolled yet because they haven't gotten around to it, you understand instinctively why that matters, and you do not let it sit on your to-do list because you know now that getting started is the move. Waiting is the mistake. When a friend suggests a weekend trip that would cost you $400 you haven't planned for, you don't just say yes on impulse and figure it out later. You either check your budget and find room for it intentionally, or you have an honest conversation with yourself about priorities, not because you're rigid or no fun. Because you respect the relationship between decisions and outcomes in a way you didn't before. When you open your banking app now, you still feel something. But it's not that sick bracing feeling anymore, it's something quieter, steadier. It's the feeling of someone who is building something real. Let's be honest with each other for a moment because this is important and I don't want to gloss over it. This is not easy for everyone. Not everyone starts from the same place. If you are living in a genuinely tight situation, if you are supporting a family on a single income, if you're dealing with medical debt or student loans or the aftermath of a financial hardship, the path to that first $1,000 might take longer than 5 months. It might take 8 months, it might take a year, and that is okay. The timeline is not the lesson, the process is the lesson. Even if you can only set aside $25 a paycheck right now, you set aside $25. You create the account, you name it, you make it real. Because the habit matters more than the amount. The habit is what carries you forward. The amount grows over time. As your income grows and your expenses get leaner and your confidence in the process gets stronger. What you cannot afford to do financially or emotionally is wait until the conditions are perfect. The conditions are never perfect. The people who build financial stability are not the ones who waited for the right moment. They are the ones who started with what they had and kept going. There is a version of you not far from where you're standing right now who opens their banking app without that sick feeling, who gets an unexpected car repair and handles it without a credit card, who goes to sleep at night without running numbers through their head and wondering what happens if something goes wrong next week, who starts thinking about what comes after the emergency fund, about investing, about longer-term goals, about the kind of future that feels possible instead of impossible. That version of you is built on a foundation, and the foundation begins with one decision and one account and $1,000. It begins exactly where you are. If this felt like the kind of conversation you needed to have, the kind that cuts through the noise and talks to you like a real person about real money, then I want you to know there is so much more where this came from. Every week on this channel, we go deeper into the practical, emotional, and sometimes overlooked parts of building a financial life from the ground up. No schemes, no shortcuts, no promises that don't hold up in the real world. Just honest, clear, useful guidance for people who are serious about changing their story. If that sounds like you, then you already know what to do. Stay with us. We're just getting started.